Alright, Burning Rune Demon. So let's let that resolve. Oh, this is a good combination. Alright, let's put Leader in your hand. That's annoying. Hello and welcome to the Batcave, your secret hideout for Brawl gameplay and deck tech videos. I'm your host, BlindBat8719. On today's video, I built a Mardu Curses deck that I'm going to be playing for you guys. But before I do, a couple of small asks. One, click the subscribe button down below, help me grow my channel. And then two, if you like today's video, please share the video with your friends. With the asks out of the way, the idea behind this deck is to play a control deck in Mardu colors using the win con of the Aura Curses. Originally, I was going to build a 5-color curse deck to play all the curses, and then when I saw what was available on Arena, it really was a majority of them were in white, black, and red, so I figured to make the mana base easier, I would go into Mardu colors. The commander that I chose was Snapdax, Apex of the Hunt, because I think that when you mutate him, that does get you some good abilities, and he can definitely, with some of the creatures I have in the deck, giving those creatures double strike is pretty good. However, the commander's immaterial to the deck. You can pick any Mardu one that you want. I thought that Snapdax was the best choice, but your mileage may vary. The gameplay for winning the game is to be a control deck that's going to win with these curses. Cruel Reality, that beginning of the enchanted player's upkeep, they sacrifice a creature or planeswalker, otherwise they lose 5 life. Captive Audience, while technically not a curse, really much feels like one. After going through all the modes, my opponent should hopefully be destitute and staring down an army of 5/2/2 zombies, and they're at 4 life. And then Overwhelming Splendor, where basically all their creatures lose all their abilities, become 1/1s, and they can't activate abilities that are not mana abilities or loyalty abilities. As I was saying, this is going to be a control deck with these as the win conditions. But again, it wouldn't just be a curse deck without some more curses. So to kind of help with the curse feel as well as to control the opponent, running Curse of Silence, so that the way I can name their commander, and this way it'll slow them down a little bit. Cursebound Witch is more in here for flavor than anything else, as she has several things in her spell book that are actually some of the curses that I am trying to get, so that was why I figured I'd include her, but she is somebody that you could cut if you want to for the deck. We got Trespasser's Curse, which is really useful against opponents that are trying to play a lot of creatures out or get a lot of tokens, so like Scoot Mob tokens, for example. Curse of Shaken Faith helps against Storm-esque decks or decks that want to play multiple spells in a turn, as for every second spell beyond the first, this curse will deal 2 damage to the opponent. Faithbound Judge is an alternative win condition that if I can get Sinner's Judgment onto my opponent, there's 3 more judgment counters on my opponent, they will lose the game with Sinner's Judgment on them. Curse of Leeches is a 3-mana slow drain of the opponent that if they with the day-night cycle can become a 4/4 life-linking creature. And then Torment of Scarabs that causes my opponent to lose 3 life unless they sacrifice a non-land permanent or discard a card. The only weird interaction I found in the game to be careful of, if you have Torment of Scarabs on them and Captive Audience, they could sacrifice the Captive Audience to the Torment of Scarabs before it goes through all its phases. Now, to kind of get to the big curses that I want in the deck, I'm running Grim Tutor and Burning Rune Demon. This way that I can pick 2, because the idea with Burning Rune Demon is you want to pick 2 things that are kind of similar. So if I get Cruel Reality, Captive Audience, or Overwhelming Splendor, some combination of those, I will get one of them at least. That's really bad for my opponent. And then because I'm going to usually lose one, or in case I mill something early on, discard early on, I have Reconstruct History in the deck to be able to bring back one of these curses, the big winning curses, back to my hand. And then I get to get some other stuff, an instant, a sorcery, and a planeswalker potentially. Because I do tend to run a lot of enchantments, because all of the auras are enchantments for the most part, I'm running Archon of Sun's Grace to kind of give me take some advantage of that, as well as Hollowed Hunting is a card I'm trying out. This will give me a Spirit Cleric token that's power increase that grows the number of spirits I control. It's alright, but I think this is another flex spot if you want to put something else in here. But I figure I'd give it a try with it since it is a new card from Crimson Vow. And then Manaform Hellkite. Usually you think of this as being with instants and sorceries deck, but it just cares about non-creature spells, which this deck has a lot of with all the auras in them, all the curses. So I thought he'd be a fun another way of winning the game a bit. And then here's some control cards I have in the deck to kind of slow my opponent down and interact with them. Authority of the Consuls to have my opponent's creatures come into play, tap, and gain me life in the process. Swords to Plowshare to remove some stuff. Kitesail Freebooter to kind of look at their hand to get an idea what the game plan is. Fire Prophecy to deal with the creature, and hopefully maybe I have it's early in the game and I have an expensive aura. I could just put that away for right now and get it back later. Angref's Rampage. I like it when I play multicolor decks to have some more multicolor options, things I don't play with a lot, so I thought the Angref's Rampage would be a fun control option. Croxa, something to deal with early, and then later on in the game I have something else I can probably play out to try to beat down on my opponent. Minimus Containment. Got the nod because it is an enchantment. I have a little bit more of an enchantment theme, so I figure having a little bit of enchantment removal would be good for the deck. Murderous Rider, I think, is just a good card to always have in the format if you're playing black. Bedevil, again, destroys target artifact, creature, or planeswalker, and it's multicolor card, so I want to play with that because I don't get that many opportunities to. Elspeth Conquers Death is a great enchantment removal spell that can bring back a creature or planeswalker for me later on. Same thing kind of with Eldritch Reborn. I always have a soft spot for this card, so I think it's great for a control deck. Kaya the Inexorable mostly be used for her -3 ability, but occasionally the +1 may come up as it goes along, and if I happen to get the emblem off, that'd be pretty sweet. And then Ugin the Ineffable, I thought would be another way of having colorless removal in the deck. If I don't need the removal, I can get card advantage by putting 2/2s into play that can then become a card in my hand. And then what we got here now are all the card draw, card advantage spells. So I think whenever time you're playing white, you should always be playing Esper Sentinel, just because you might eventually get some free card draw out of it. Gift of Estates is a way to draw 3 planes. It also gets me, I'm playing lands that have multiple land types, like the Shock lands and the Triumph, so I can also fetch those with the Gift of Estates. Birth of Melta, same idea. I get to find, it's a basic planes, but it lets me get a card in my hand at least, and a blocker as well, and some life. Burning Prophet. I have a soft spot for this card. I think it does a really good job. Like I said, I'm not playing a lot of creature spells, but a lot of non-creature effects in the deck. So this way then I get to kind of get more card selection with her, which I think is pretty sweet. Thrill of Possibility to kind of dig through the deck to try to find some of those auras. Maze Mind Tome again to draw cards. And then Bolas the Citadel is in here. This could be another flex spot for your card advantage things, but I think if I keep the life total high enough, just be able to go through the deck and churn through things really quickly would be pretty sweet. For some more card draw on the deck, I got Myla, Crafty Companion. Really, I don't expect to play Luca that much, but basically whenever my opponent targets one of my permanents, I get to draw a card. That's really what it's in here for. Callous Blood Mage, probably going to be drawing the card most of the time there. Same thing with Foreboding Fruit. Morbid Opportunist, if I'm gradually having my opponent sacrifice creatures, I could be drawing a card out of it at least. Phyrexian Rager, just to replace itself and get through the deck a bit. Same thing with the Arena, kind of be able to draw cards every turn, extra cards. Sorin the Mirthless is a new one that I'm trying. I've seen people been playing with him a lot more. Maybe I underevaluated him the first time he came out, but I can see the idea of having a nice 2/3 blocker for -2 is pretty good, and then the idea of, again, getting more cards is pretty decent as well as his +1 ability. Pirate's Pillage, just to get a little ramp into the deck, as well as some card draw. Showdown of the Skulls, again, more card advantage, and it plays into the enchantment aspect of card advantage with the deck. And then, like I was saying, with control, gotta get some board wipes into play. So I'm always a fan of Settle the Wreckage to kind of get that gotcha moment for the opponent. Wrath of God, Blood on the Snow, Ruinous Ultimatum, those kind of take care of creatures for the most part, with Ruinous taking care of everything. Blood on the Snow can let me bring something back from my graveyard potentially, and it's why I'm playing Snowlands. Extinction is meant to be a little more selective of what creatures I can maybe get all of my opponent's creatures and keep some things on my side of the field. And then the Meat Hook Massacre is an enchantment-based board wipe that I thought would include, again, to go with the themes. And then some ramp that I have here. I'm trying out Dream Devourer because I do have a lot of expensive things in here. So if I'm able to get him out and then reduce something for Tellet, get out of my hand and make it cost 2 less, I think it would be pretty sweet with the deck. Magda, really expect her to just be a 1-turn attack with her, get a treasure token, and that's kind of her job. Arcane Signet, Cold Steel Heart, Mind Stone. Those are, all these are my basic ransoms. I always am a fan of the Celestis, as this will let me draw cards just through natural course of play if I don't do anything, which I think is pretty good. Smothering Tithe to get some more mana advantage from my opponent, and again, it's an enchantment ramp spell. Key of the Archive, I think, is a must include in multicolored decks. Let it give me all these different options that I can use to try to get more value out of my deck, essentially. And then Solemn Simulacrum, again, it kind of helped me ramp up to these more expensive spells that I want to play in the deck. Mana base here is, again, just try to make things, a lot of fixing to make everything work. Then that's really it. We have Faceless Haven and the Crawling Barrens as backup win conditions. And then Field of Ruin to blow up my opposing cards I don't want my opponent to have. With the deck tech out of the way, let's jump into the arena for some brawls. Alrighty, this hand seems fine to me. I got some early protection with Swords of Plowshare and some maybe a Meathook Massacre. I got a Curse of Shaken Faith to try out. I'm playing against GRiggs, piloting a Nissa of Shadowed Bow, so I think there will be a point in the game with all the mana they have, they'll probably want to cast 2 spells per turn, so I think that could be useful here. So I'm going to keep this for right now. Alright, start off by saying hello to the opponent. And then I would say let's lead off with the Sinkhole. This way I have access to the white. And then I can play the Sulphurous Mire next turn. Lair of the Hydra on my opponent's side of the field. Perfect. Alright, so I don't mess this up. Oh yeah, I probably messed that up. I should have played Curse on 2. Ooh boy. Alright, well, it's still fine. It's all going to be fine. I'm going to go for a turn 3 Mila. Because really, I can't imagine them playing 2 spells on 1 turn anyways here. Though they do have something at instant speed apparently. Alright, pass there. And let's maybe draw the card at least. Alright, resolved, and is she dead? Alright, take the action, draw the card. Alright, so Shattered Sanctum's pretty good. I can probably do, well, Cultivate, alright. They're getting the ramp going on right now. I could always Swords of Land if they go attacking with it. Okay. So now, rather than going with the Axeguard Armory, which is in here to help me find my Aura Curses, probably go with the Shattered Sanctum, I would say. So I can do Curse of Shaken Faith against my opponent, which now we're getting close to the maybe 2 spells of turn play. But also now, they also have the play of Nissa with Landfall going on. The Khazad-dûm Mammoth goes to the graveyard, alright. So that's 1 less creature / land to worry about. They're not playing Nissa this turn unless they just misplayed there. Which I know I'd be apt to do, like, oh yeah, play the land first. Like, oh, I need the landfall trigger. Oh man, person plays Reclamation Stage, which is a good card. I would be playing that in this deck. But there goes my curse. Sad face. Sorin the Mirthless. Alright, so we'll play out the Snow-Covered Swamp here, so I can play out 13 damage to any target, you gain 13 life. Probably making the 2/3 is the better option here. As this way then, I can block, and I still have a Swords of Plowshares up, in case my opponent's plan is to Nissa and animate a land. I can block the Reclamation Stage with my Vampire, and then Swords away their land, which would bring them down a little bit of a resource. Alrighty. Landfall. Trigger. And then actually, if they reanimate the Khazad-dûm right now, it doesn't gain haste. They will gain more life, unfortunately, but all okay in the process. Ooh, why they went with that route?
The swamps come to my aid.
Pass to attackers. Just swords that instead. And then what I can do here, I have a Mind Stone. Can I play Meathook? Okay. So I would say let's reveal the top card of the library. See what we get. Sure, we'll take the Smothering Tithe. That's always a good card to have. And then in my graveyard I have 4 cards. I actually could... Yeah, so we're going to mutate Caesar. That's actually one of the good reasons to have Sorin in the deck, because they don't mutate target. So now at least... that was probably a mistake. I probably should have instead done 4 damage there and then killed her this way. But,
You have doomed my home.
Alrighty, and then with that done, let's play the Axeguard Armory out. So it will get a little tricky with this, but I do want to be able to use... I will go down a Lancer, so I have to keep that in mind. But if I get the Smothering Tide out with the Mind Stone, That can maybe help me get there. Ooh, the GRiggs monster. Alright. That's a very appropriate card for the Nissa deck, so that's pretty good. Alrighty. You're going to pump the Reclamation Sage? I mean, I would to get rid of the Sorin. Alright, so Fire Prophecy, that's good. Let's see what we have on top of the library. Trespasser's Curse. Sure, we'll take the card. Trespasser's Curse. I have the Meathook Massacre that I can only do for 4, which doesn't get rid of the GRiggs monster. I think Sorin's probably seen his last day, which is fine for me right now. Alright, so... I'm sorry, I could double strike damage. So, alright, so there's some damage done to the opponent. And then I would want to do... probably just go with the Smothering Tithe right now. And then keep up the Fire Prophecy, I would say. Because I'm not expecting them to go nuts just yet on landfall stuff with a Scoot Mob Swarm, for example. So that lets me, give me some time to use the Trespasser's Curse. And who knows, maybe the Smothering Tithe will kind of tap him out a bit. I didn't think so. Alright, cool. Maybe then I should have risked it playing the Mind Stone. But hey, having the extra 4 mana is pretty decent. If he tries to be cute, instead GRiggs at me and Reclamation Sage towards Sorin, I could maybe get him that way. Ancient Greedwarden. How many lands are in the graveyard? Okay. That's actually a good combination, especially with the GRiggs, because then when it kind of negates the sacrifice of the GRiggs monster. Sure, let's go with that, and let's wait to see, making sure there wasn't something else like a Snakeskin Veil I had to worry about. So, oh, they're sending both there. Alrighty. Do I have enough I think I have enough for 7, so let me Fire Prophecy the Sage here. And then let's put back the Curse. Blood on the Snow. So that may have been a waste of the burn spell, considering that I'm probably going to, oh, I could actually just bring him back anyways. Alright, so I'm thinking if I go with the Meathook Massacre, that would kill the Caesar as well. Alrighty, let me think about this. I could go swinging with Caesar, they'll block. I then use Meathook Massacre to wipe the board, and then keep Caesar in the graveyard to bring back with Kroxa. That sounds like a good idea. Let's give that a try. Alright, so that works. Decline. I think I can still pay the 2 for this, and that gives me, I need X equals 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so now I actually have to use these all up now. Now, that play there probably means for the most part my opponent will most likely will probably end up paying for the Smothering Tithe, because they got... why would they pay for the Smothering Tithe? They're probably going to pay for Smothering Tithe because there's not that many options for them to use their mana for. But clearly I am wrong. 5. That brings back the GRiggs monster. Alright, so it looks like I'm going to probably be doing a Kroxa with a Murderous Rider play here, it seems like. Take the 3, don't really mind as much because of all the life gain we've had with the commander. I do this, and then I still have enough to kill. Yeah, we'll do that. Alright, so let's have you discard everything first. So, commander, keep Sorin in there because I might be able to reanimate him with the Blood on the Snow. Now I'll take the action, put the commander to the command zone. And then the other thing too actually is I have the option, if I mutate Kroxa, mutate Snapdax onto Kroxa, that's pretty sweet because that means I now have a 6/6 double striker, basically doing 12 points of damage to my opponent on top of the discard effect. Alright, now at this point though my opponent might just be on the plan of recast Nissa, especially if they get a land drop. Because again, they could always use her for once to bring back the GRiggs monster. Alright, there's Nissa. Landfall. Next will be GRiggs monster, I would say. Less than... Oh, number of lands you control? Oh. Equal to the number of lands you control. I always think it was... Alright, so GRiggs monster, which has Death Touch. Alright, well, hold on to the Ruinous Ultimatum. Alright, so let's mutate onto here. And that's still fine because I'm going to deal 4 damage to the GRiggs monster. So this way then... Oh! Freaking A. I'm just so used to you having Caesar be the top card. Oh, man. That should have been more damage. I would, if I was my opponent, I would snap block this. Really? Oh, man, I would have blocked. Because you would... I don't know, I just feel like... Alright, let's see what we got going on here. Again, I saw the blood on the snow. I'm just really annoyed that I went too fast and I clicked on the Caesar. I'm just so used to putting him as the top card. So sorry about that, guys. Opponent's definitely giving me a lot of mana. Alright, there's Nissa. Landfall. Who else do I got to worry about now? Green Warden's probably coming back, I would say. There's the Green Warden. And then you probably play your land out so this way you don't lose any value to the GRiggs, which they did. They can't replay her out. Alright, so they take that. If I were to do Ruinous here, it'd be roughly 9. So I think we'll just go with the Ruinous play here. And again, if I had not mutated the wrong way, that would have been game. But that's too much for GRiggs. Thank you very much for the game. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, this hand is serviceable. I'm playing against wootmoot, piloting a Nicol Bolas God-Pharaoh deck. I've been seeing this one a lot more frequently as of late. And I mean, I think it's an awesome card, and it definitely going to be a control deck, I would say, for the most part. But I think we can kind of have Murderous Rider. We have a Blood on the Snow, so I can kind of deal with some of the stuff my opponent's army. I probably name Cold Steel Heart on black then, so I can use the Murderous Rider. But yeah, I have all my colors on turn 1. Then I can play up Birth of Meltis out. Let's start off by saying hello to my opponent. Let's just see. I like the waving, but I feel like people, when I wave, they don't actually say hello back. So maybe I should start going back to using hello. Do you guys like using emotes? Let me know in the comment section down below. What are your favorite emotes to use? These are the 5 that I found to be most useful for me to express myself to the opponent. Fetid Pools from the land drop for turn will play out. Actually, we'll just play out the snow-covered swamp since that will give me my double here. And I think we'll just go with the Cold's Heart here, mostly so that I have ramp. I'll have... let's go with red. Sorry, I'm still stick with black. Thinking back that I do have a Bolas' Citadel, which requires triple black. I have a red source, so I have double red. I have another white source here. And then Thought Erasure. It's a fan favorite of mine, at least, of using that as removal for my opponent. I think the Surveil is great, and it also helps with the card selection. And basically take the best thing, which would probably be, I would say, the Murderous Rider. Yeah, so that goes to the graveyard. Esper Sentinel is definitely something I want to see here right now. So the right play here would probably be play Birth of Meltis, get the white source, as this is on black, and then play out the Sentinel. So that hopefully either attacks my opponent to slow them down a bit, or I get to draw a card out of this. And they probably know that's the newest thing I got, because they see what else is in my hand. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't look like it, but it is a human. So in terms of mutating onto it, it's not great. And I may just decide to play out the Snapdax as is, just because, just to get a little more pressure on the board. It does leave me open to a board wipe attempt that, that wouldn't be great. In a pinch, you can mutate onto the wall because it's not a human, but so you'll have a double striking 3/5 wall. Not the best use. It is a possibility, but definitely not the best use. So be mindful of that when you have the token out from the Birth of Meltis. Let's see. I have Odd, Even, Heartless Act. Alright, so they'll draw the card. I don't get to draw a card on that one. That's fine. So there is the risk of playing out Caesar too early, that he just dies and you really don't get much use out of him. Let's just swing here real quick. Draw another card and see what we get. Do I have more? I have another black. Alright, cool. Let's go with some more red. And let's get the Phyrexian Altar out. The Rager is definitely something that I think now I probably should have enough mana. It's, he increases to 7. So here's 5, 6. So I do have 7, so I can mutate onto the Rager if I need to. That is a cool mountain. Oh, man. Ugin? Oh, there goes the arena then. I mean, Ugin's going to die, but there goes the... Oh! Alright. Going for the card advantage there. Let's see, I can do 2 and lose most of my board, which doesn't sound like a great idea. So I would say here, we'll stick with the planes. The Reconstruct History, which I haven't really had a chance to use yet, so that's kind of cool to see. So I can bring back these 2. Oh no, I can't. It's a creature. I can't bring back a creature. So I would say the play is here to mutate onto the Ranger. Deal 4 damage to the Spirit token. So they'll get a scry and they'll get a card out of this. That goes at the opponent's face, and then King Caesar will go take care of the Ugin. And then again, he knows I have the Blood in the Snow, so I could always bring back the Caesar if I need to. There's Bedevil. And now do I get to draw? I draw the card. Alright, and an Extinction Event. Again, opponent's probably not playing that many creatures. This type of deck that I'm playing against, the Nicol Bolas God-Pharaoh, is mostly a control deck. And actually, speaking of control, Elspeth's Nightmare is a card I do enjoy. I think for the price, you get a bunch of things that work with that. Alrighty. So I'm going to lose some stuff. Pay the 2 life. I don't have any enchantments, really, outside of the Meat Hook Massacre, and I don't feel like I really like saving that for some big threat my opponent may have. And looks like we're going to do probably Kite Sail Freebooter to see what my opponent has. They're probably going to get rid of the Blood on the Snow, so the pathway is clear for Nicol Bolas. Let's get rid of the Wash Away. So that's good. Now again, the Kite Sail Freebooter is a human, so it's one of the things that doesn't synergize well with the Caesar. Let's go with Sorin the Mirthless here. This goes, it starts at 7, goes to 9. Oof. Taking the card here, what, he can deal the damage to what? Target creature, target opponent, or target planeswalker. So I think knowing what he has, and he's probably relying mostly on the commander, I will just play out get the Vampire token going, because that's a really good combo with Snapdax, giving double strike lifelink. And this way then, as opposed to just drawing the extra card that they could snipe with the Elspeth's Nightmare right now, and then I put everything into Sorin, they blow up the Sorin with Nicol Bolas, and then I have no way outside of putting it on the wall to mutate. There's the Blood on the Snow. Land Nicol Bolas, and he's probably going to play off my top, and please don't hit one of my curses. What do we get? He gets a second base Mind Tome, so I will take that. Cursebound Witch and a Command Tower. Alright, so that's good. Let's bring up, see what we can get on top. Sure, we'll take that. I could discard a creature and draw 2 cards. I can give a creature haste. What do I have in my graveyard? I have a Rager. 9. I gotta deal with 9. So I think, well, okay, the safe play here really is to mutate and then swing. Take the over this time. 4 damage there. That finishes off there. That goes there. So that deals with that, and then, well, bye-bye graveyard, actually. Reconstruct History probably could have been something I would use with a save out of the graveyard, because I would have gotten back Blood on the Snow. We've gotten Esper Sentinel back because he is an artifact. I would have gotten the Birth of Meletis. So I would have gotten at least 3 things back for it, which would have been pretty nice. But That's okay. I got more things I wouldn't mind getting back now. Alright, so all this square. So I get to buy a little bit of time. He'll probably try to refill the hand here with some card draw. Gains a little bit of life with that one. He can ramp and card draw again, which I think he might take the turn off to do. And I have enough cards, so I don't think there's a reason for me to draw and discard with Luca. I'm not really, yes, so I want to look for my big enchantments right now, but they don't really work against control, except the black one kind of works, because they don't usually have creatures. You got Cursebound Witch and Meathook Massacre, both of which don't do you any good. Okay, the Mila. I missed the Mila. Phyrexian Arena doing some work. I would say, actually, let's go with the Temple of Triumph. I always have a good question. Do I want to scry what I see on top? If I like it, though, then I want to keep it. So let's see. I think we're just going to look on top. Sure, that's actually really good right now, because it makes it hard for my opponent to actually recast their commander.
You wish to know my secrets?
So, Nicol Bolas. God-Pharaoh. Make sure you pick the right one. And then let's just swing real quick. So that's going to be 7 points of damage. What we got coming up next? Bedevil's definitely one I want to hold on to. Cursebound Witch. And do I want to risk everything? I'm not going to risk everything. I'll hold on to the Archon of Sun's Grace on the off chance I need some rebuild. Oh, that's pretty sweet too. On the off chance Ego would get the board wipe and then I lose everything, I'd be really upset about that. Alright, that goes back here. So I have the one answer now for the commander. Faithbound Judge as well, which is a Spirit Soldier, so I could mutate onto this, which is pretty sweet. I think here we're going to start off by just swinging in at the opponent real quick. And I think I'm just going to keep drawing cards. Trying to get to the way to kind of win against my opponent. So we have the Faithbound Judge. And then that's basically it, because the Reconstruct History does not get back creatures. Oh, Nicol Bolas is back. Short. Take the action to draw a card. And now, what is my opponent planning on doing? Probably going to play off the top of my library again. Alright, Burning Rune Demon. You know, I probably should. I can wait. So let's let that resolve. That's even. Almost. Okay, that's the only thing I lose. Okay, resolve. So if I were to do Extinction Event, that's one possibility. The other thing that'd be expensive would be to use. Would probably be to do this, to kill this, and also use a Disturb effect. Then if you have 3 more Judgment counters on it, Champ Play loses the game. It's 7 to do that. Oh, this is a good combination. Alright, let's put Leader in your hand. That's annoying. Oh, let's see what I can do here. If I could kill Bedevil, it's 9. I can mutate. I'm trying to think. I have the Reconstruct History to get back to Bedevil. I'm just going to get rid of the Burning Rune Demon now. Because it is mine. And then when this gets able to attack, I can give a double strike at least. Oh cool, a Faceless Haven. Alright, so the opponent's going to probably... They can replay Time Warp over and over again. So that's what they're going to basically do here. Let's see what we got on top. Trespasser's Curse. Why not? I'll add it to the pile. I already played the land for turn. So, we'll curse you. I can still mutate. If I mutate, he plays 5. He gets an extra turn. He's just going to loop the extra turn, so I got to play Reconstruct History, I think. Return up to 1 artifact, submit 0. One of those. Bring back the Devil. 1 sorcery, 1 planeswalker. Alright, so let's play out the Time Warp. Or Curse of Silence, naming Time Warp. And this is not so I can draw the card, is that it's going to cost 7 mana a turn to actually be able to cast the Time Warp every time. Yeah, make this play here. This is a curse. I misplayed that. No, I didn't. I was thinking I should have maybe played the Archon out first. However, I need the Bedevil mana up more importantly. So that... Because what's going to happen is my opponent's going to cast Leer. They get to maintain priority. Oh, Smothering Tide. That's pretty sweet. So, hey, you know, good for them. I'm drawing a few extra cards. So, Leer comes in. Ow, that's sweet, actually. Wait, what? Oh, no. I should have gone to full control mode. That was a mistake. So, with the trigger on the stack, I should have been able to, respond to the trigger and then kill Leer before he gets to cast any of this stuff. And anything get rid of my graveyard? Nothing gets rid of my graveyard. So that's pretty... So that's actually kind of what I want to have happen. Does he have enough for the cleave? That wasn't cast from its owner's hand. Alright, so I have to now pay for... twice. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Resolve. Autopay. Resolve. Autopay. Play that out. They don't get the blue mana from... They were hoping for me not to pay. They didn't have enough, but I had enough mana to pay for the Smothering Tithe cost. And then let's threaten with Sorin here. Yeah, sure. That's threatening enough. Even if I don't go off with Sorin, they have to actually deal with him now. It doesn't really matter. I'd be dealing 1 damage here, so I might as well just start going after my opponent's life total. Alright, opponent scryed to the bottom, kept gaining the 4 life. Yep, you gotta deal the 4. Wait, what? Oh, 7 damage. -4 deals 7 damage.
I'll make use of that later.
Put a card in my hand. Give you the island. And then Mana Geode. This is 3 mana. 1, 2, 3. He definitely doesn't have the counter spell. Alright. I'll keep paying. At this point in the game, I gotta keep paying. Alrighty. There's that. And then what we got here? Archon of Sun's Grace. Showdown of the Scalds. A bunch of lands. Great. Oh, I don't get the +1/+1 stuff till next turn. Okay. And I have 2 lands left over. Alrighty. We'll swing at my opponent's life total. And now, next turn I may risk the tokens. You get to have the Thriving Moor then. And I feel kind of bad that they're not getting cards out of that. Alright, what do you get off of me? Arcane Signet, that's totally fine. But now at least I'm going to have... Oh, Key to the Archive. That's going to be dangerous. It'd be funny, though, if he actually picks the Time Warp. He has the mana to the cast, but it's going to cost him 7. And at that point, I'll probably draw the card. Alright. Oh, he probably needs something that deals with enchantment removal. Resolve. I'm going to decline. I have too many things that I want to kind of resolve here. So I'll give him the extra mana. Let's see, we're going to play out a land that comes into play untapped. Let's go with the white here real quick. And I think I still have enough left over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's put, I'm just gonna I'm diversifying my choices here. Okay. Ah, man. So I do gotta play out the Overwhelming Splendor, otherwise I lose it. Well, I think in that case I'm gonna lose it. Let's see, 3. So I have 7 here that deals with 1. I got another 3 here. I think we swing here a little bit. Deal some damage to some stuff. 1, 2, 3 takes care of that. Actually, 3, 6. Yeah, actually, I just gotta stay alive, really. Wait. Nicol Bolas, destroy him. Yeah, I think actually getting rid of Nicol Bolas here is the right play. The reason being, he needs to find a way to destroy this enchantment, and the best way he's gonna do that is through me. Oh, I didn't swing with the Archon. Dang it.
A tactical retreat, is it?
Callous Blood Mage, yeah. So, probably screwed this up a little bit here. Sorry about that. But basically, it's a matter of just trying to stay alive till the 3rd judgment counter goes on my opponent. And let's get rid of your graveyard, actually. Just in case you bring some stuff back. Let's just get rid of that stuff. And that does it. And bye-bye Overwhelming Splendor. So, no using that to kind of win me the game here. Let's make sure here. Beginning or keep. They lose it. Alright. Roll the dice. What happens? Resolves? Curse of Shaken Faith. Not enough. I hope it's not a premature GG's, but basically that's game over. He doesn't have anything in exile that he can, with a silver counter that bounces. He has to kind of use this and hope to get something, but I think my opponent's out of options here. Agonizing Remorse, you can get a swamp. Again, nice artwork on the swamp, though. I know those are from, I think, the Dracula Secret Lairs. And we're going to get a Sinner's Judgment win. Woo! Wootmoot, thank you very much for the game. Let's go on to the next one. Alrighty, and that is the video for today. Final record for the deck was 4 wins and 6 losses. I probably could have played a little better in some of the games, so probably bring that record up a little bit. This deck was a lot of fun to play. Playing a control deck in these colors is a little bit different, and I enjoy that difference every so often. And then I remember playing Captive Audience. I'm more into GRiggs this build. Back when it was in Standard, it was just a fun way to kind of get somebody. So I was trying to recapture some of that magic with this deck by playing these oppressive curses on my opponent. Some changes, I just made a change to the deck. I feel like the mana base, sometimes you get stuck in situations where you can't cast everything. So I took out one of the pathways for a Archway Commons. I may consider taking a second one out for a second similar effect like that. So I think the deck can be slow enough where that's worth it, so I'm able to cast some things on time a little bit easier. But let me know what you think of the deck in the comment section down below. If you really like today's video, please click the thumbs up icon as well while you're down there. And if you really like what I'm doing, please consider subscribing to the channel and helping me grow. As always, thank you very much for visiting the Batcave, and have a great day.